welcome all to the another episode of Exploring Heritage Story with Lahorenamah. So I guess they need no introduction. So welcome the man behind Lahorenamah, Umair Hashmi. So Umair is the founder and creative director of Lahorenamah and also an indie filmmaker, photojournalist, and oral historian. And Umair, tell us about your journey of Lahorenamah. कि ये जो सफर सी किਵੇਂ शुरू होया, like from Umair to Lahorenamah.
I mean, it's very. I won't call it a very cliche कि राती कुछ होया तो मेरे सपने च कुछ होया तो मैंने एकदम ही कोई idea आया. It's not like that. I was born into the city, and I was very much attached with the city. But when you were growing up, you're not very familiar with the cultural heritage or the key history on the air. I'll keep it bilingual. If anyone do not understand Punjabi, we can switch with Hindi and English. It's gonna be like this.
Right.
So the thing is that obviously while living in diaspora, I moved to the UK and lived there for all my 20s, late teens. Also, I was going and coming back I was living between London, Cambridge, and this part of the world, Lahore. तो ਜਦੋਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਡਾਇਸਪੋਰਾ ਚ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ ਹੋ ਤੇ ਆਲਰੇਡੀ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਉਹ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ enlarge ਹੋ ਕੇ ਫੀਲ ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ. You miss that food, you miss the culture, you miss small details, you miss the sound of the hawker, you miss sometimes azan, you miss going to this darbar. So whenever you come back to the on the term time, short ਛੁੱਟੀਆਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਮਿਲਦੀਆਂ ਸਨ because I was studying, then I was working, so you have a limited time. And so in that I had a full list what to do. Kedi jagah jana hai. I need to visit the Killa. I need to go to these streets. Bachai Masjid. Need to taste this food. So that's how it started. And the journey to Lahorenamah is because I was working with arts, culture, and history. I was working with the documentary process because I'm a documentary filmmaker. So that's how I see the need to make a platform for the people and start documenting these stories, the lost heritage or the old haveliyan jehdiyan ujad gayiyan ne, jehda de asal jire malik makan san or partition to baad idhar aa gaye. I'm trying to reach out to people, and it's just a new initiative, and I hope ke aage badhe ye cheez.
Right. And actually, we have been to your page and have seen your documentaries where you have conversation with people. So definitely ਜਦੋਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਆਂ ਤੇ ਕਿਤੇ ਨਾ ਕਿਤੇ ਸ਼ਾਇਦ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਇੱਕ ਨਜ਼ਰੀਆ ਵੱਖਰਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹਿਸਟਰੀ ਨੂੰ ਵੇਖਣ ਦਾ. So how do you communicate with people who view the history in different ways than you do?
I mean, Sarbjeet, it's a very, very, very tricky question. I mean, depends what kind of person is in front of you. ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਿਹੜੇ ਬੰਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਕਿਹੜਾ ਸਵਾਲ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ. For the instant, you have people who has certain mindset about the history. ਕੁਝ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਦਾ ਆਪਣਾ ਇੱਕ religious perspective ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ, history ਨੂੰ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਕਿਸੇ ਖਾਸ ਕਿਰਦਾਰ ਨਾਲ ਉਹ ਬਹੁਤ attach ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ. So we make sure ਕਿ ਇੱਕ ਤੇ ਕੋਈ ਕਿਸੇ ਕਿਸਮ ਦਾ trauma trigger na ho jaye. So we need to have this training because I came from that background, so I know mere naal je team bhi hundi hai ya mere naal koi collaborate kar raha hai, so I make sure ke ekdam aur kisi kahani nu leke koi cheez hegi ona kol ya koi shared material memory hegi, koi khurpi hai, koi purani kirpan hai jehdi ona de babyan di si. That's how I started asking the questions. So where did it come from, and is it your father's, and how did it come into your family? They all naturally start towards the partition or whatever they want to tell. But every people have a different perception towards history. अगर कोई बंदा किस specific class तो आ रहा है, कुछ बहुत educational background तो है कि नहीं, कोई businessman है कि नहीं, कोई व्यापारी सन, everybody has a different perception. So today I was at another Haveli, and it used to belong to two Hindu brothers, Ram Gopal and Hari Gopal. But the person who still run the Haveli was not from a history background or very educational background. He was a businessman in property, but he made sure कि वो अपने हिसाब नाल वो the heritage maintain रहे. So everybody has it's again I said it's a shared history. Everybody has a different opinion and different approach towards history. As long as it's going into saving that culture or heritage, अगर destruction हो रही है, encroachment हो रही है, so I do not endorse that. Obviously, I raise a voice okay, this is something you should not do. But again, everybody has a different approach towards it. So we're trying to mediate them. We're trying to create a platform which is very open towards criticism as well, and open towards cultural absorption as well.
Like you said, it's about the memories and experience. Like also, you have some memories with Amritsar as well. So our users would like to know that कि Amritsar ना तुसी खुद ਨੂੰ किਵੇਂ relate ਕਰਦੇ हो?
I wish I would have memories from Amritsar. So the memories I had is from my grandparents. So all my nanka, they were from Amritsar. They migrated from Amritsar. I think my mother is the only one who was born in Lahore. I think she was the first one who was born in Lahore after partition. But even my mama, my masi, khala, we call it in Urdu, they were all from Amritsar. And back in the day, Amritsar and Lahore were considered as a one compound. किसी दी अगर कोई रिहाइश कोई रह रहे हैं अमृतसर से, they have the job there, or they must have properties in Amritsar and Lahore, and vice versa. It was never in the thoughts के partition के बाद एकदम ये दो जड़े शहर ने. I know we always idolize and we always compare Lahore and Delhi for obvious reason, for Mughal architecture, for the infrastructure, for the Shah Jahanabad and Roon, but I must say that Amritsar and Lahore are identical. 12 darwaze idhar ne, 12 idhar ne. The structure, the galiyan, the structure, and the process, the textile, the and chemical machinery manufacturing was used to be in Amritsar, and a lot of their warehouses were used to be. The businesses were also connected towards both cities. And still now, I mean, it's like where I'm sitting, it's like 30 minutes मतलब drive है यहाँ इथों दी Amritsar दी. So yes, my half of my side is from Amritsar.
Okay, so like you recently mentioned that both cities have similarities. I think that's why people call them twin cities. So
Yes.
I think इसके अलावा और भी किया कि why these cities both are being called as twin cities?
Obviously, because of the similarities, they were called as twin cities. But other than that, they were conjoined. They were like the conjoined twins. जुड़वे बच्चे पैदा होंदे ने, and they are identical. And sometimes they feel the same, kind of trauma and suffering. They have a connection. So obviously, when Punjab was annexed, these two cities has faced a lot of stuff after 1857, mutiny hui, and the War of Independence, we call it. So after that, these two cities were the most targeted ones. इन्होंने बहुत ज़्यादा एक दंगल वेखे, एक लड़ाइयाँ वेखी, and that's much. So they've gone through a similar journey as well. Unlike Delhi and Lahore, or Delhi and Bombay, or Karachi, and they all have their own journeys. But Amritsar and Lahore were like together in this process as well.
And दूसरी चीज ये भी है कि if you look at about the art and architecture, that is quite similar between both the cities. So
Yeah.
if we मतलब अगर बिना किसी ने दस्ते, if we put together pictures of structure from Lahore and from Amritsar, it's hardly a person can find a difference between them, because ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਜੋ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਨ ਦਾ ਤਰੀਕਾ ਸੀ ਜਾਂ ਉਹਦੇ ਦੇ ਅੰਦਰ ਅਗਰ ਆਪਾਂ ਫ੍ਰੈਸਕੋਸ ਦੀ ਵੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰ ਲਈਏ, ਅਗਰ ਆਪਾਂ ਫੀਚਰਸ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰੀਏ ਤੇ they are quite similar. So ਇਸੇ ਕਰਕੇ ਉਹ ਕਨੈਕਸ਼ਨ ਅੱਜ ਵੀ ਚਾਹੇ like
because the artisans were similar. ਜਿਹੜਾ ਇੱਥੇ ਕੰਮ ਕਰ ਰਿਹਾ ਉਹੀ ਉਹਦੇ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਕੰਮ ਕਰੇਗਾ ਜਾਂ ਉਹਦਾ ਕੋਈ ਰਿਸ਼ਤੇਦਾਰ, ਔਰ it was the same market ਕਿ ਅਗਰ ਟਾਈਲਾਂ ਅੰਦਰੋਂ ਸ਼ਹਿਰ ਪਾਰਟੀ ਤੋਂ ਆ ਰਹੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਤੇ ਫਲਾਣੀ ਚੀਜ਼ ਉਧਰੋਂ ਆਏਗੀ, ਦੂਜੇ ਬਾਜ਼ਾਰ ਤੋਂ ਆਏਗੀ, from Amritsar. So the artisans was similar, everything was the same. Culture, the language, the food, the accent as well. We were talking to you the other day, and you said you have this accent somehow in the Punjabi, even though my Punjabi is not very fluent. Like, still it's there. If you listen to my mother's Punjabi or my nanka side, they still have this Amritsari Punjabi. So they were also joined from culture, heritage wise, and lingually as well.
Okay, so as we discussed like previously, it's also Lahore is also known as walled city like Amritsar. So can you elaborate more about it? कि हाँ walled city दा आज भी अगर at present गल करिए, so क्या है जो people can experience in Lahore like as a walled city कि कुछ conserve कितना जा रहा है?
I mean, I understand that Amritsar has also wall city and 12 gates. But for me, when I was exploring, I get to know that there were multiple wall cities in Lahore. We just know one. There are Bana Darwazas and the Ik Modi si, the Delhi gate, the Kashmiri gate, the Sheranwala gate, the famous one. Because it gained famous, it famous is karke hoya si ke एक fort है guy, and then Maharaja Ranjit Singh lived here for like his longest time. He was the longest monarchy ਜਿਹੜੀ ਰਹੀ ਸੀ ਕਿਲੇ ਦੇ ਅੰਦਰ. ਬਾਕੀ ਤੇ it was a visiting spot because always Fatehpur Sikri was always the capital. Agra was the capital, so they use it while going to Kabul or Kandahar. But the Killa was still there. Okay. So that's how the whole city got famous, and still now it's famous because of the culture, the food, famous personalities, the infrastructure. It's a very medieval town. Halevi, Ajme, Swere, Udarisi. I tried to spend all the Sundays, Saturdays, weekend over there. Still has maintained somehow the old culture. You still get to see these hawkers. You still to have these markets. Purane tarz but there were other wall cities as well. There were another wall city with 4 gates near Thokar Niaz Beg. We call it the village is called Niaz Beg, and then Killa Gujar Singh as well. It's another kind of wall city, which is not much of a wall city now. But it used to be a big killa, and then it started its own community back in the day. Then Killa Lashman Singh as well, which is not gated anymore. Whole city of Lahore, the Androon Shahar, I think Akbar ne the Bunyad rakhi si, he started it, he gated it. And it was because the Ravi was near, the water source was there, the sewerage system was good, food was good. It was very safe back in the day. Galiyan is tarah tang hondiyan ne ki koi dushman hamlavar aande the, they can save it, they can defend their own. So people prefer living in there. But today things have changed. People have their own problems. Koi ambulance nahi andar aa sakdi. They have much problems of electricity and stuff like that. A lot of people are doing good stuff, but people over there now, they prefer going into the more organized societies. And people in organized societies like me, they would like to go back to the whole city and live in the old Havelis. So adal badal ho raha hai aajkal ji.
Okay, so like you're documenting the lost heritage of Lahore. So उसके पीछे एक inspiration किस इस campaign के पीछे कि is the a reason हो सकता है कि कितना किते still people need awareness about those structures. ਜਾਂ ਕਿਤੇ ਨਾ ਕਿਤੇ ਹੋ ਸਕਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ you want to take that ਕਿ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਦਾ ਧਿਆਨ ਲਜਾਇਆ ਜਾ ਸਕੇ ਕਿ we should save them before it's too late.
ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਸਰਬਜੀਤ ਜੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਹੀ ਕਿਹਾ. The lost heritage is a short form content. There is reel bandi hai, and we always try to find ਉਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੀ ਜਗ੍ਹਾ ਜਿਹੜੀ which is very underrated. Nobody knows about it, or ਸ਼ਾਇਦ ਖੰਡਰ ਬਣ ਗਿਆ ਹੈ, ਕੋਈ ਨਹੀਂ ਜਾਣਦਾ ਉਧਰ. Just to raise awareness. और the cultural significance की सी, कोई मंदिर सी ते किसदा मंदिर सी, और एक भैरव मंदिर सी, कृष्णा मंदिर सी, एक शिवाला सी, और दी की historical significance है, कौन लोग आके होते रहंदे सी, इबादत करदे सी, पूरा community दा सारा key system सी back in the day. The lost heritage, it's unbelievable whenever I go, whenever I find books. I must say 98% of the lost heritage sites are not there anymore. They're not there. And the few jadiyan bachiyan ne ya kuch imaratan khandar di shakal they're still there. They're not very good shape. Not much literature or any research material is found. Both cut milde. Mostly sometimes we have to rely on the local oral history. That was the case. And the other campaign, the other strand we're working on is the stories of Lahore, stories of Lahorenamah. That is a long format. Udesha make sure कि कोई हवेली the owner related to those owners, or they need to have this emotional connection with the Haveli. So we've done this Wajid Ali Shah's Haveli, we've done this Haveli of Mia Sultan. We're working on a few more Havelis, and just not Havelis, we're also working on the colonial houses, because that's also a part of our history, which is very much not being touched. The houses made in the colonial time, the families who used to live there. So this is very much overlapping between architecture, family history, cultural heritage, and the lost heritage.
Yes. Definitely, when we're covering these things, so storytelling is should be must there, and like what is the importance of storytelling in this campaign? Like कि शायद लोग story सुन के ही relate करना चाहते ने, or it has some different, perspective from your side.
Again, it depends. जड़ा बंदा सुन रहा है वो किस तरह conceive कर रहा है. For the instant, अगर while watching that reel or that video or that content or that campaign, किसी ने awareness आई है, किसी ने शौक पे है कि let's go and let's have a look what kind of place ये किथे ये तस्वीरें लेने वास्ते अगर लोग जा रहे हैं तो obviously उस जगह च थोड़ी जी बेहतरी आ सकती है. Authorities would have noticed what kind of place is that, and ये इस तरह दी चीज़ें हुईं ने back in the day. They have started restoring. We have this small Chuburji here as well. We have one big Chuburji and another one is a small one, which is unknown. That was another gateway to this big garden of Mughal era, Zebun Nissa's garden probably. That was unknown. So people started going there, people started making videos over there. So that created an awareness, and the authorities have started working on it. And the structure, digging wala si, the base kharab si, the frescoes were going off. But now they're at least trying to restore it. रोक देता गया है मजीद तबाही तो. So yes, it's also creating awareness. It's also creating a lot of people from cultures, a lot of students from cultural studies to go back and look in the books and search about those. Because बहुत ज़्यादा tombs, especially from the Mughal era, are wrongly attributed. मतलब, for instance, we have this Zebun Nissa's tomb, but this is not in real Zebun Nissa's tomb because she died in Delhi. And then we have Prince Pervez's tomb, which is not really Prince Pervez's tomb because he died in Burhanpur while coming from in a karma or whatsoever. So both others were wrongly named or erroneously attributed. So that's also the case. To have a dig deep in it, just go for it, look for it, and just restore the history. We cannot let them go from some encroachment or some malls or some plaza. We cannot do that.
Yes, you're absolutely right. In the same way, if I talk about the Amritsar, I have done research on that also, because see, people should a story should be there, so people can connect themselves to the building, because whenever they go to the heritage sites, उन्होंने कोई clue ही नहीं होता कि ये है की चीज़ है. For example, I talk about the Pulmora. It's a very site that is very near to the the borderline. So people don't understand what the purpose of this thing, and even they don't know कि where is the actual place of that pull, that bridge, जो historical just like historical context है, but still that bridge is neglected and totally खत्म हो चुके हैं. But they conserved only the they are very site specific.
Yeah.
The conservation is, so they conserved only that site only, instead of the कि जिथों वो नेम ओरिजिन होया है उसਨੂੰ बचाਉਣ ਦੀ ਬਜਾਏ they are particularly focused on that thing. I think these kind of are some insensitive approaches कि जिथों हौली हौली चीज खत्म होती जाती है. So that's why we are left with, as you explained earlier, that कि 94% or 95% what the percentage is कि उन्ना heritage खत्म हो चुका है. कितना कितने यही रीजन है कि उसका एक पॉइंट ਹੁੰਦਾ हर चीज ਦਾ, उस पॉइंट तो स्टार्ट करने की बजाय they just focused on some one or two buildings कि हाँ बस एक नाम बच जाए. तो I think ये चीज कितना कितने शायद हेरिटेज को बहुत ज्यादा इफेक्ट कर दिया है.
Totally agree with you. Yeah.
And so talk about the conservation. So what is the status of conservation of heritage sites in Lahore presently?
Yes, I mean, the main sites they've done a great job with a lot of international and national authorities, UNESCO being doing work, Wall City Authority, Aga Khan Foundation, and locally conservationists as well. We have, the teams have done a great job. Obviously, we needed generations to save that monumental, big, huge, the heritage. Just people are doing it. Delhi Gate, Surjan Singh Gali, Shahi Hammam, Shahi Killa, they're all in good shapes. But there are other places as well which needs attention as well. But the conservation scene is pretty much good because even the people often in Lahore, they've got aware as well. They know they're living in heritage sites. They want to build it. They want to make it, create it in their own way. Sometimes they do not really follow the laws of conservation. They just restore it or renovate it, putting the plaster or cement or as per their budget or whatsoever. But people are aware now. I mean, I've seen a lot change in the people mind. If someone has a old Haveli, if you're exploring, if you're in the old town, they always come up and say, we also have old Haveli. We also have a friend who has this old heritage building or Purani ko Haveli, colonial building. You need to come and see and also tell us what is it. So I was at a place around in Lohari Darwaza, Lohari Gate, and they have a humongous Lal Haveli. And I asked the name. Obviously, Lal Haveli is a very generic name. Koi bhi Haveli Lal hoegi no.
Yes.
Can I shuru kar den local logo. So I get to know that the real name is Mai Daro's Haveli. And she used to be a courtesan of some Raja of Kashmir, and she used to live in, and it was closed. And but we asked the gentleman who was there. He used to have a shop now, and he was willing to help us and also willing to know about the history of the place, because he said, I've spent all my childhood over here and मैं हवेली देख के बड़ा होया तो मैंने एक ख्याल आंदा सी कि मतलब इधर पीछे history की है. But yes, now people are aware as well, especially in the walled city, and they want to help, they want to work. But we always have bad examples in all cases. I mean, there are people who do not want to, they just, there to stop, these the conservations or heritage sites being done. They have their own matlab on their page. They want to build their own malls or shopping shops. But overall, the situation is quite good, and it can go into more betterment. Yes.
Yes. In a similar way, right? They introduced the heritage scheme in 2017 in overall in India. That was central scheme. So where they identified 12 heritage cities. So their purpose was not to conserve the buildings part, but they also want to conserve the whole city in matter of services, in matter of infrastructure inside the heritage sites also. So there are a lot of sites they conserved very beautifully, like Windward Fort. They converted into the heritage museums. So the whole complex is conserved as it was earlier. And if we talk about some other parts like the Jallianwala Bagh, so somehow they changed it. That was lately criticized by the people because they changed the whole the historical facade. And town hall is really appreciated by the people. So yes, over here, so now they are aware of the lost heritage. So that's why they are doing the things step by step. But somehow at the lagde ki there is something missing, in the part of the conservation, because they sometimes they are not even unable to connect the people with the buildings. It might be they are changing it as per the use of the people. Like there is another building like Kila Luwalia, so they changed it properly into a marketplace. Earlier it was a fortress. And if we talk about the Rambagh Palace, so they entirely focused on the summer palace building only, but they totally neglected the surroundings, the landscape, which was its prominent part. So yes, so similarly, people are aware now, but they still need more awareness towards this building. So how to proceed with the approaches, I guess. Yes.
I mean, I will just answer this in a very simple way. There is people need to understand the difference between conservation, restoration, and renovation. We just do renovation on the name of conservation or restoration. कोई चीज़ अगर खराब हो रही है उठे ही रोक देता जाए with chemicals and all that. मज़ीद और खराब ना होवे. That is like more like conservation. And restoration is if you have craftsmen, if you can create something very similar, and then go for it. So that is the course.
Right. So basically, though the architecture of Lahore is very beautiful, but is there any particular heritage site which is your favorite and you love to
I mean,
document it well.
I love all the heritage sites for the instant. I also love the layers of Lahore because we get to see the Mughal era because it was the center of attraction for all the kings and the queens at the back in the day and the dynasties, the Tughlaqs and the Tataris and the Mongols and the Khiljis and the slave dynasty and all that. But when the Britishers came, we get to see this blend of architecture on the Mall Road, or I won't call it a colonial architecture. That's more Indo-Saracenic kind of architecture, and a Mughal Gothic. I mean, credit goes to Sir Gangaram, of course, and Lockwood Kipling for creating something which is kind of very rare to see in the future and back in the day. It's a fine blend of old heritage. It has these niches and all that. It has these balconies as well. ਤੇ ਉਹ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਦੋਵਾਂ ਦਾ ਇੱਕ ਪਲੇਡੀਅਨ ਆਰਕੀਟੈਕਚਰ ਤੇ ਬੇਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਜਿਓਮੈਟਰੀ ਤੋਂ ਹਟ ਕੇ ਇੱਕ ਬਾਅਦ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਇਆ ਸੀ ਆਰਕੀਟੈਕਚਰ that is very ਉਹ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਪਸੰਦ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਹੈ. That has the element of all the architectures ਜਿਹੜੇ ਇਸ ਖਿੱਤੇ ਚ ਇਸ subcontinent ਚ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ.
Okay. So similar influence we have also in the Amritsar as well. I think although historians refer that name as colonial, influence inside the buildings, because Britishers also, changed a lot in Amritsar when they were ruled here over, because we can see that colonial part they changed it over, like for example, like the Rambagh Palace, later called as Summer Company Bagh, because they introduced some clubs inside that place. In fact, agar tusi aaj bhi Amritsar jante ho, so people don't know about the real name Rambagh Palace. You have to call them ki haan main Company Bagh jana hai. So this is how much they influenced the architecture that was the ancient architecture. Yeah. So this influence can also be seen over here as well. So usto ilawa, if we talk about your documenting the lost heritage, so ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਇਲਾਵਾ ਲਾਈਕ what inspires you the most ਕਿ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਇਸ ਚੀਜ਼ ਲਈ ਹੁਣ ਕਰਨਾ ਪੈਂਦਾ ਹੈ. ਸੋ if the concept ਤੁਸੀਂ ਹਰ ਵਾਰ different ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਕਰ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਹੋ? Like I have seen all your documentaries, they're totally different. They have taken us all to the different time zones or different layers of the history. But how can you be like so different like every time कि हाँ मैं इस चीज ਨੂੰ ਕੁਝ ਅਲੱਗ ਕਰਾਂ? Because usually this is a human tendency कि ਜਦੋਂ when we create something, so अगर ਆਪਾਂ we are creating into a sequence, they might feel bored कि हाँ एक sequence part 2 part 3, but how you will be always come up with something different?
I mean, I try to research for the instant अगर कोई मैनू मंदिर मिले तो मैं उदी research करांगा. I'll try to dig into the academia or ਜਿਹੜੇ ਵੀ research paper ਉਹਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਚ ਲਿਖੇ ਨੇ. Sadly, we do not have much written material on Lahore. It's very few, and it's on the main, the heritage sites or the tourist attractions. But the kind of ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜਿਹੜਾ different ਕਿਹਾ ਹੈ ਉਹ different ਇਸ ਲਈ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਕਿ ਉਹ story ਹੀ different ਹੈ. ਉਹ ਵੱਖਰਾ ਬੰਦਾ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਸੁਣਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ. ਇੱਕ ਅਲੱਗ time ਦੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ. It has a different ਇੱਕ ਉਹਦਾ influence different ਹੈਗਾ. So this kind of things, obviously, मैं जदों भी हर दफा whenever I take interview or oral history project मैं record करना लोगों दे, हर दफा is different for me. The experience today I went there, I was on 2 sides and I दोवां da right or left, north pole and south pole da fark si. So every time I go on this journey, I came up with a different approach, different idea, and when I produce it, when I edit it, it came out differently. For the instance, we also we're working on 2 colonial houses as well. In the future, you'll see the episodes, which are very different as well, and which will take Lahorenamah or this journey onto another level. That is also part of our heritage as well. I think it's because of the strong narrative is very strong. I let the owner or whoever is there, I let the audience decide what they want, rather than me telling. That is also a cause. That is also a format, and people are doing a great job. I'm not against that. But my method is that I let people decide. Is karke har bande da oda asar, oda influence different on that. That's why it's different. That's what I think.
Right. And recently, I have seen your recent post about an Haveli. So where the owner has talked about ki Haveli, the like they converted into a the Haveli was from someone. She was maybe a queen. She just to show her power, she created a sheesh mahal inside her building,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Haveli. And yes, and so. The owner explained that we purchased that of a part of a building from
yeah,
your sisters or
yeah,
maybe your
yeah,
family
yeah,
members,
yeah.
and later on, but later, well, previously they sold that कि जो ने अलग-अलग parts they have been sold to different
Yeah.
owners and further they sold to adaptive reuse. So
Hmm.
are those things are not totally have been taken care by the government or are totally taken care by the people like you who knows the importance of history and heritage?
Acha, the thing is, there are two different ways or two different sides of this story. एक ते ਉਹ ਲੋਕ ਹੈਗੇ ਨੇ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਨਸਲ ਦਰ ਨਸਲ ਉਸੇ ਹਵੇਲੀ ਚ ਹੈਗੇ ਨੇ, they have this association and emotional attachment with the haveli, and they want to keep it that way. They do not want to sell it. They're just happy with it. They're maintaining it, even though they're not living in the same place or the same haveli. They make sure they come every weekend or every day. ਜਿਹੜਾ ਵੀ ਉਹਦਾ ਹਿਸਾਬ ਹੁੰਦਾ. Second
Hmm.
people are the people who were refugees, who were the immigrants. कोई अमृतसर तो आया है, कोई कानपुर तो आया है, कोई बॉम्बे तो आया है. They do not have much of the attachment to the Haveli. Obviously, they left their houses over there. They always
Hmm.
miss their houses.
Hmm.
So they are living here, and it's a very tricky and very hard job sometimes. They're not happy to talk. They're not happy to come on the camera. And you need references, you need context, you need to ask them, you need to make sure that to see another trust level. Okay, we're not doing anything wrong. We're not letting you or kicking you out. We're not doing a campaign against your house, because it's also very problematic sometimes. They think we come from government side or we
Hmm.
have some issues.
Hmm.
Or property ਦੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਮਸਲੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ, because it's always divided ਨਾ, ਕਿਸੇ ਦਾ ਅਗਰ ਦਾਦੇ ਨੇ ਲਿੱਤੀ ਹੈ ਤੇ it will be divided into further their uncles or their sons or their daughters. So divide honde, it's always apart. Majority parts were being taken down or restored, or it's mall ban jande ne or
Hmm.
rent te hunde ne. So it depends again on the other person or family, how much serious are they about this house. About the Sultan's Haveli, it's also just one portion. And that was just a Sheesh Mahal. Baki, then the Rihaisi, they've changed it. And Mia
Hmm.
Sultan is a very famous character. He
Yes,
was famous
yes,
for restoring and destroying in the same time the monuments of Lahore and Amritsar as well.
yes,
So
yes.
he spent his last days over there, and probably that Sheesh Mahal was for for mujra, or for courtesans, or for dance, for his English friends, because he was very famous in the English circle as well. He was a contractor in colonial times. He was one of the people who made the Lahore station, the Lahore junctions, which was the hub, the headquarters of Indian Railways as well. But the thing is, sometimes if it's a heritage site, it's not completely owned by government, because in the wall city they have authority. Wall city authority is the in charge inside these
Hmm.
wall city, and then they have mediators. So if they want to buy some property, they always go to their mediator. The mediator jada hoega us ilake da mashhoor banda
Hmm.
hoega, who will avoid this violence or ladai jagda. It used to be very common back in the day in Androon Shahar, which to just ignore these property mafia and all that. Now it's very better, but most of the houses are people's, private property. Few houses are also owned by the government authorities, which has been restored. For the instance, I went to this house today, and I get to know, and I was very happy as well that they're changing it, they're restoring it in a good
Hmm.
way. But if some
Right.
people owned it privately, they have their certain take in restoring the house. They won't follow the rules of architecture or conservation. That is
Hmm.
also a case, but at least they're saving it. I mean, I just want to see the positive side.
But in that way, if they're saving it, maybe also that building is losing its authentic character in a same way. Maybe in a that
Yes.
way, because new aesthetics may have new, एक कह सकते हैं कि new sensory experiences to the users. Maybe
Yeah.
whenever they looked at the new building, maybe they not might feel same as it was previously. So I think, like as you said, they're not following the actual conservation or restoration rules, but still they're saving it. But I guess
Yeah.
if they save in like in a proper way, then it can be conserved like for a for a longer run, not for a shorter period. Like, that what we are doing at these platforms to letting people aware about their heritage, their culture, their history, so they can understand the importance and the significance of the of these things, because they're actual treasures of our life, because they shaped
Yeah.
us
Yeah.
and
They are.
it's our
Yes.
culture.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
And have you seen that, if I talk about, because I'm very excited about one of my site, that is Full Mora, as again, I'm gonna explain about it because it has some kind of a monuments that are also in the Lahore as well,
Yes.
like
Yes.
Mora's,
Yes.
can you
So
elaborate more
we
about it?
still
Like,
have this Pulmora, or we still call it Kanjri the Bull. Somehow they've changed the
yes.
name, and then we
Hmm.
have Kanjri the Masjid, which is now
Yes,
Mora the Masjid. They've changed it. Mora is the very beautiful name. It's from More. और मोरा
yes,
वर्ग चद्दी सी इस करके महाराजा जी ने ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ
like
ਨਾਮ ਮੋਰਾ
Mora
ਮੋਰਾ
Rakya Ji,
ਸਰਕਾਰ ਰੱਖਿਆ
Mora
ਐਂਡ
Sarkar.
ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਂ ਤੇ ਇੱਕ coin ਵੀ ਜਾਰੀ ਹੋਇਆ ਸੀ still there, and she was the, I mean, one of the top-notch notch queen of Lahore, who was a courtesan as well as a queen as well. ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਪੂਰਾ ਉਹੀ queen ਵਾਲੀ protocol ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀ, and she used to have a haveli, ਜਿਹੜੀ I think ਅੰਦਰੂਨ ਸ਼ਹਿਰ ਦੇ ਅੰਦਰ ਸੀ, probably Lahore, maybe I'm wrong, I can't recall. It's not there anymore. It's been taken down, dig ye, tag ye, but we have a very famous artist and a conservator and heritage activist. He painted it, Itihaas.Explorers, and he saved it. He saved that Haveli forever, I think, on watercolor. So yeah, she used to live here, and she have a strong reputation back in the day. Also, I get to know about another wife of Maharaja Ranjit Singh, which was Gul Begum. And she was a Muslim lady, and she was buried in Mazang's area, and that area is called Bagh Gul Begum. So Maharaja Ranjit Singh ne वास्ते पूरा एक बाग बनाया सी near Mazang area. And so these kind of, also all the Maharanis, Maharani Chand Kaur, and all the two other Maharanis, they still buried all together, and there's Samadhi and Nal Nal in Civil Lines College. So yeah, we have still a lot of Sikh heritage sites as well. A lot of Sikh yatris, whoever they're coming here. I mean, we just love to see those places in a very good form.
I think bags are like, I think the love, I think Maharaja Ranjit Singh has a much love for the bags, the landscaping thing, because if we see that influence also can be seen in the Amritsar as well, because there are number of bags in the cities, and the roads and the, some of the, communities are known by their names as well. And
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Rambagh is also his summer residence, while whenever they, came back from Lahore to the Amritsar, that they actually they lived with their family, they have family quarters over there. So yes, so he has that love for the landscaping. So if we talk about your upcoming projects, so what are they? Like, are you coming with something bigger or something new? Like, kya aane wala next, what we can expect from Lahorenamah in the coming days?
I mean, I'm already obviously working on Lost Heritage and the full long format documentaries. I mean, that will be keep going on. I'm also I might be starting. I would want to start the heritage walks as well, with the trusted, the people who knows history. I mean, I'm still not the perfect guy. There are a lot of people who know a lot than me, who has, experience and knowledge way more than me, and I'm still in learning phase. So probably we'll start heritage walks, because Lahore is time on there from November till March. That's the peak time. अच्छा मौसम होता है, गर्मी नहीं होती, and after that,
Right.
this sooner the summer hits, it's quite hard to for the heritage sites, heritage tour walks as well. And also, I would like to dig deep into the folklores, the अंदरून शहर दियां पुराने लाहौर दियां कहानियां सन, किरदार सन, based on oral history or based on oral traditions or old methodologies. I would love to explore them into the literature. I would like to make it a more overlapping between architecture, storytelling, heritage, and archiving as well.
Yes,
So yeah,
that is
that's
important.
I'm trying to I'm trying to develop a domain, a platform for all the people. Everybody's love to open to work, come and work with us, collaborate with us. It's an open platform. It's for
Right.
the people of Lahore, by the people of Lahore, and for everybody who love Lahore.
Yes, because heritage is not bounded with some, communities or something like that. Because it's for everyone.
Yeah, it's a shared
Heritage sabda hi hai,
history. Yeah,
it's a shared
yeah,
history,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
So I guess it's a very good initiative that you are doing, and you are contributing towards the heritage and the culture. So I think hum sama bhi आगे हो रहे हैं. So any message you would like to share with our viewers कि हाँ कि from your side, from your perspective, कि हाँ like heritage वास्ते की हो सकता है और
I mean, just document these sites. I mean, ਸਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ phone ਹੈਗਾ, TikTok ਹੈਗਾ, Instagram हैगा. I mean, just go out and probably these sites won't be here for longer. 5-10 साल तक maybe they won't be there. I've seen sites going down in my own eyes. I mean, I regret those in front of my own eyes. They're not there anymore, or they're changed, or they're not in the original form, or somehow. So these days, I mean, people are doing a great job. I mean, I'm very happy to see a lot of people cross border in India. Both अच्छी reels बन रही हैं. People have certainly एक awareness आई है लोगों ਨੂੰ ਲੈ के, एक revolution जिया silent जिया start होया है. Heritage ਨੂੰ ਲੈ ਕੇ, history ਨੂੰ ਲੈ ਕੇ, अपने विरसे ਨੂੰ ਲੈ के. People are doing a great job. I mean, even though some people are not that trained, but nobody care about. I mean, you just take the phone. I mean, कोई अगर दिल्ली गया है, कुतुब मीनार complex गया है, कोई अगर आगरा गया है, they're just making the reels and they're creating that awareness unknowingly कि एक पाकिस्तान च बैठा है बंदा भी उन्हें appreciate कर रहा है, या एक इंग्लैंड च बंदा बैठा है. So it's a shared history, and I mean, यही है message के just record, just document as much as you can, because साढ़े times documentations नहीं हुई हैं. It's very hard to find archives. I mean, the government has a special process. You need to prove them. You doing a degree or PhD whatsoever. अगर तुसी कहोगे मैं इंस्टा पे reel लानी है, कोई post बनानी है, they would not help you. Obviously, they will just say just go from there. But documenting these things in the future, it's raising an awareness in the new generation. People are taking interest in cultural studies, in archiving. I know a lot of people who are taking interest in archiving, who wants to be archivists. The चीज awareness create करी. I would just want to say, just document.
Right, because एक छोटी सी कोशिश भी सानू बहुत अगर तक लेके जा सकती है. And if we have technology in our hand, we have portable phones, and we have portable technology, in short, that we आप बस जाना है, click करना है, and we posted it on, तो पता नहीं कितने पहुंच जाएगी. Like you mentioned, कि national, international, doesn't matter. And also that create awareness not on a national level but on international level. That's why we have foreign delegates. Those came here to like to आंदे ने discuss करते हैं कि what we can do to preserve or conserve our heritage. So like yes, वो चीज बहुत ही जरूरी है. And definitely अपनी archiving is very important, because जो coming generation आ रही है उन्हें कुल कुछ तो होना चाहिए, so they can take reference और further इस चीज में आगे लेके जाया जा सके. Because always there क्योंकि एक layer दा होना बहुत जरूरी है. If there is a layer, people can read it about and they can understand and they can go forward with it कि आगे इस चीज में कितना ले जाया जा सकता है. I think that is really appreciable thing. And I think hun samage zyada अपन और नहीं दे रहा. So definitely will come with part 2 someday, next day. And thanks again, Umair, and thanks to Lahorenamah for joining us on this live
session. Thank you, Sarbjeet, and thank you Itihaas.
You're most welcome. So ठीक है जी, फिर मिलते हैं अपन दोबारा. Okay.
Take care. Thank you so much. Nice talking. Thanks a lot. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.